are talking about, you name it, we are talking about it. Going into caves, haunting, looking for creatures, looking for hauntings, weird science, UFOs, cryptoids, you name it, we are out there looking for it. And Bill Brock is going to track it down and find out what makes it tick. So that's pretty cool. And if you guys missed out on that shit, you missed it. And I told you guys not to miss it like 50 times on my pages. So anyway, he's going to tell us a little bit more before he's got to hit the road because he is freezing his buns off in his car right now.
Yeah, definitely. Being on this crypto paranormal road trip, man, we've had to pretty much rough it most of the time, but it's definitely been worth it. We've had a lot of fun. And we talked about my crypto paranormal road trip a minute ago, and I got to talk a little bit about what I actually do. I'm a Bigfoot hunter. That's what I do. I mean, that's what I'm good at, And I just kind of came over to this paranormal side, but I'm really just a good old redneck, rough guy from the woods, and I look for Bigfoot, and I think that we've probably got some of the most compelling evidence on Bigfoot of any team out there. Have you guys seen the recent video that I put up?
I have not.
I have.
Oh, you have?
I have seen it, and I just want to mention too that for the ladies out there, listening to the show, I did make sure that we included some of those pictures that showed you guys kind of out there in the wilderness with your drone because,
right.
I do want to mention that I am enjoying the fact that I'm here talking amongst, three very good-looking, all three of you tonight are very manly, roughneck, manly men, and I like that.
I think Jody just got a little wet over that one.
Are you kidding? I've been like that for the whole hour. I don't know what you're talking about. Please. I'm already hot just thinking about being out in the wilderness, hunting Bigfoot, in a tent. Maybe I'm going to be the only hot blonde out there. Didn't you notice how I slipped that in there? Hey, Bill, I want to go out and hunt for Bigfoot. I'll be the only girl there. Shit, I want to go. I'm like, Jay, I'm coming up there. When is this fucking road trip? Come on, girls. Who else wants to go? There's 3 hot guys. Who's going? So, I'm going to get all kinds of messages from the ladies now being like, hey, Joe, when is this fucking hot paranormal road trip? Let's all go there. So, yeah. I think I'm going to make this an event. I'm going to post it on Facebook. It'll be like Diva's Hot Guy Paranormal Road Trip. There's going to be a sign-up sheet for that crap. And, yeah. Only good-looking girls going. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you have to rough it. But you guys might want to check the pictures first because you will have to be roughing it, in the Bigfoot hunting tents. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So you might want to check Bill's videos online because it looks like it's cold. It looks like it's cold and rough out there. So just be advised in advance. I'm warning you.
Keep them warm.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep them warm.
Yeah. They look cuddly. They do. So, yeah.
They look like they can kick my ass. That's all I got to say.
Oh, Bill's going to get all kinds of new fan mail now. Here it comes.
Right.
You can thank me for, thank me for that later.
I just got 47 free mail requests on my Facebook page.
Bet you did. Oh, bet you did. They all want to tell you about what's haunting their house now too.
This is true.
He's going to be getting those messages that says, "Bill, I think my vagina's haunted."
Yeah.
You want to come and investigate?
Yeah. They're all going to tell you that they need an overnight investigation at their haunted house now.
Yeah. Right. You got a cave you can go into.
Oh, bet.
Oh, good.
But yeah, man, if you if you ever have the urge to come up and go Bigfooting, I will definitely take your little hot blonde self out Bigfooting. And
all right.
It'll be really cool. We definitely have some of the best footage that's been put out there probably since the Patterson-Gimlin film. I mean, the footage that we just put out was taken by a young 15-year-old boy. And,
wow.
you know, of course, people say that he hoaxed it. People say all kinds of crap. But at the end of the day, I spent 3 days out there trying to prove that it was a hoax. And I really did. Me and AJ, we're pretty decent. You know, we're good in the woods. We really are. And we tried our best to prove that this thing was a hoax. And I couldn't prove it. And that's God's honest truth. People like to say that the stride length wasn't right to be a Sasquatch, you know? And if they were there, they would understand why the strides were the way they were. What it was doing is it was stepping in the dry sections of the snow, you know? So, like, we have a little tiny bit of cover on, so it was like avoiding the snow by stepping in the dry spots, trying not to leave tracks. Yeah. So you see it takes a couple really, really long strides. And when it does, if you can focus on the foot of this creature, you can actually see the foot. It folds backwards, man. It can't. I've never seen a human do anything like that. And when it steps down, the foot bows up. So whatever this thing was, it had huge feet with what's called a mid-tarsal break, and that's something we associate with Bigfoots, because a Bigfoot's foot is kind of floppy because it's built to roll over things and really be super grippy. So whatever this was, it definitely had all the attributes of a Sasquatch. And I think if this was a Sasquatch, it was probably a juvenile. And it probably grew just like we all grow. I went through a really awkward time in my life where, like, my legs seemed longer than my arms or something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so why can't that same thing happen to a Sasquatch? Because these things are most likely part human. I know that's kind of freaky and probably blew about half of people's minds that were listening to you. But at the end of the day, this thing is most likely a Neanderthal. And I came up with this, and we in the Bigfoot world have pretty much came up with this theory based on the science we have on ourselves. We are up to 7% Neanderthal. Every white-bred American here on Earth, percent Neanderthal. So the question at hand is, where is this Neanderthal with the 7% human DNA? Well, I think that is Sasquatch. I think what we're dealing with is about 38,000 years ago, when we were living in basically war with the Neanderthals. I feel that the Neanderthals did what we see every other native tribe do. They moved. They tried to run away from the conflict. And I think they moved themselves up north and essentially evolved in parallel with us as humans, you know. And you think about humans and what we have, dude, we got like cars and airplanes and, you know, badass houses and air conditioning. Hell, we even got strip bars. And, you know, the Sasquatch, I am sure, has evolved in parallel. So you can imagine how badass a Sasquatch could be after 38,000 years of evolving in the wilderness, learning how to avoid a human. Now, if you think about that and in real terms, this thing is going to be the baddest motherfucker on the planet when it comes to living in the woods. So if you think about that, really think about that, it is feasible for small family groups of these creatures to procreate and create like family groups to where they can multiply and essentially get their population back up and stay around. And I think that's what happened. I think that these things were confronted by humans. They went into hiding, and now we're seeing an increase in population of the Sasquatch, and we're also seeing urban sprawl by modern humans, forcing the Sasquatch out of hiding. And we're running into this thing in what I like to call riparian zones, you know, the zone where humans and Sasquatch kind of come together. And that's where we're getting the majority of our sightings. So when you really think about our history and the fact that we have never, ever, I'm talking never, lived on this planet alone without another bipedal primate such as ourselves, this is the first time in Earth's history that we haven't had that. And if you think about that, you know, most likely it's true that there is a Neanderthal-type thing living in the woods of North America. And that's science-based. That's not theory. That's facts, you know? And
yeah,
it really blows your mind when you really deeply think about the fact that there are most likely a Neanderthal-type creature living in the woods. And I've got enough proof where we can pretty well guarantee that. And now, right now, I have developed a drone with it's happening right this second. We have a gimbal on the bottom of our drone that is attached to a what they call an FPV system. So you put these goggles on, man, and you can move your head, and it moves the gimbal on the drone. And on that gimbal, we have a 50 caliber DNA dart gun with a GPS locator built in. So basically what I can do on my drone is fire a DNA dart gun, hit whatever the creature is, it implants a GPS tracking device, and it retrieves a slice of DNA. So I am not hurting what could be the most endangered thing on this planet, but I'm actually going to be proving it through DNA and science, and I'm going to be able to track that thing. I'm going to be able to track that thing up to 10 hours, and I'm going to find out where that thing's at, and I'm going to get the best fucking video that's ever been shot of these things. And I guarantee you that AJ and I are going to be the ones to do that. I promise you.
Wow.
Excellent. I have my own theory on Bigfoot.
What is it?
What is it?
No, even though I do not think he exists, that's just my opinion, I do get into it enough to come up with my own little theories.
All right.
I think Bigfoot is actually a governmental experiment. That's what I think he is.
Really?
I do. I think if he does exist, this is what I think. I think sometime a while ago, who the hell knows, the government. One thing about humans is we're very curious motherfuckers. We are as humans.
Well, yeah.
And nobody is more curious than the government. And there's one thing that we know.
What? I gotta stop you and just say one word. I got one word for you. Quran. Quran. How many times have you read the Quran?
I've read bits and pieces once or twice.
Did you notice the picture in the Quran of the 3 Bigfoots?
No, I have not.
Look it up. Go to YouTube right now. Type in Bigfoot and Quran. You're going to have a whole bunch of things pop up. There's a specific video a guy did where he goes through the Quran and explains Bigfoot in the Quran. Now, for me, that bypasses the U.S. government. The fact that you can look on Mormons' page, you can look up Cain, Bigfoot, and the Mormons will swear up and down that Cain was a Sasquatch. That, for me, is proof that it's not anything to do with the federal government. When I can track Sasquatch back to the tribes here in Maine, and those tribes tell me and describe what they call the Pumula, and it is essentially the same as a Sasquatch. And I've always felt that these stories were to keep kids like by the campfire so they wouldn't run away. But when you meet people that have experienced and they are traumatized, I mean, dude, I'm telling you the truth, man. These people that I talk to are traumatized by this. They won't go in the woods anymore. They won't even go out and get firewood to stay warm anymore. I mean, wow. These people that are seeing these things are shaken. I mean, shaken to the friggin' core. And I can tell when somebody's lying to me. Like this little kid that gave me this sighting in that video that, you know, we were talking about. this kid wasn't lying to me. And when a person can look you dead in the eyes, never blink, never look away, never have that weird shake in their eye, like, and they're confident about what they're saying, they're not lying to you. And these people that I talk